Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. When you're tuned in, you're with Lady Business and Give It to the People Radio, where you're going to get enlightened, enhanced, empowered, and enriched. Make sure that you always tune in to Give It to the People Radio. Good evening, everybody. I hope you are doing well, and I hope you're wealthy, okay? Wealthy in spirit. I'm out here with this new hair, honey. Yes, I am just ready to give it to the people tonight. So I want to welcome you out, everybody that is here, that is watching live. Tonight's Give It to the People live. And that is our show that we do every week. Beautiful guests on who have something amazing to share with us about their businesses. And tonight we have Solita on. So, hey, girl, how are you?
Hey, girl. Love, 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 love. Oh, my gosh. The energy with the hair. Oh.
Yes, I'm trying to turn my phone up. Hold on for a second. Okay, it's up. I just want to make sure. So I said tonight I was going to put on one of your bright colors to match your people. It's definitely something that we do on a weekly basis to really just highlight businesses, specifically women-owned, Black-owned businesses, nonprofits, and just let people know what's going on with them. And so we have been talking, I think it was last year, about being able to do something. And it just, last year, the timing just did not work out. So she's going to be coming back in. But the timing just did not work out. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to redo some stuff because everything that we were doing last year was on Sundays. We were doing it live and having people in the studio. So this year we decided to change it up a little bit and continue, but to be able to do this on Wednesday night, to do it on Instagram, because before we were doing it on Facebook. So Now we're here. And see, there you go. And so you're back in. So yes. I was telling everybody that, we started trying to do something last year and then we ended up, it worked out for this year.
Yes.
So that's the good part. So I want you to just tell them who you are and just give them a little bit of background about what you do.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much, first of all, for having me here. And I think timing is everything. Things will work out and happen when it's supposed to. Mm-hmm. So I'm really happy that, we're getting connected now. Happy to connect as well. As I said, it's been great being here and just being in this space, for everyone connected, giving it to the people live tonight. Yes. I love that. Like when I saw, I was like, giving it to the people live. I think I need to be like all spunky with that, right? Just have a different type of energy. Mm-hmm. And that is what message that I preach to women is about showing up as your most authentic self, having fun with, who you are, and being able to empower yourself to get into those places and spaces that you want to get into, right? Mm-hmm. So as an image coach and a personal stylist, I help women, entrepreneurs and professionals create that look that's not a copy and paste of what we were told that uniform is or what we should wear, and to show up as themselves. I mean, I remember the first time I connected with you, I was like, wow. Right? And because that's what your image is supposed to do, right? Connect with people. Now, all of us are not going to be flamboyant and, that type of personality, but it doesn't mean that, you can't add certain elements of who you are to your appearance and to your outfit. So that's primarily what I do with my clients. It's just to bring out more of their personality into their dress code, ensure that you're showing up as yourself. Mm-hmm. And being able to create that impact and influence that you need to get more clients, to get those career opportunities. Mm-hmm. So it's an absolute pleasure being here tonight, sharing with you and sharing with everyone here tonight. Mm-hmm. Just let's connect, let's develop an image that at the end of the day, we're able to boost our confidence because it starts inside. And, once we have that confidence as women, because I primarily work with women only, because I'm all about empowering women through style, right? Empowering women, giving them the confidence that they need, because we need to take up more positions, leadership positions in, in the world and the spaces that we're in. We need to use our voices more on platforms and on things that's more important to us. So having that outward shell matches who you are on the inside, you're 100% ready to create change that we need. And we desperately need women to keep stepping up and stepping forward and showing up as their strongest self. So
I love that. I mean, and it's It's really true because even me, I see people are like, love the hair, love the hair. I see them typing in, right? The thing is, I was so scared of changing my hair for the longest time, and not scared like I just didn't want to do it. Scared like, okay, well, I'm looking at the positions that I'm in. And, one of the things that was always told to me was, to really dress for the job that you want. And even though I was in the job that I wanted, as far as being, my own business owner, having my own company, I always had this thing of like, well, let me just, keep it together. I was always a jet black number one, keep my hair dark. And because I always loved the light look of a good black hair is always like amazing to me. And, I'm just like, I'm going in all of these spaces. And my thing was, I kind of wanted to stay consistent and have that certain kind of look and feel. And then as I've grown, and I think even more through this whole nasty coronavirus, I got way more brave. Not that I wasn't brave and brazen anyway, but then I found somebody that I liked that did the hair colors that I wanted. And I was just like, I wanted to look professional though. I don't want it to look like somebody just threw some hair color in here and just slapped some stuff on. I want it to look like, okay, and what people will tell me all the time is, well, I wouldn't necessarily do that, but I like it on you. Or, oh, I would like to do something like that. And I'm just like, I think to me, that's always been kind of a compliment because it is a sense of courage and bravery to be able to do that. But I got bored and Corona was depressing. And I felt like my way to kind of express myself was through the hair because it was like, where were you going? You couldn't really go anywhere. So at least you could give the image that you wanted people to see. And when I really thought about like dressing for the job that you want, I wanted to be more of me. So the lady that I ended up finding that does my hair, Jennifer, she just said, that's your total personality. And this is a way to be able to share it. So for you to say that, that's like another confirmation of that's one way to share yourself.
Exactly. And I think what happens, we get into this space, whether or not we're entrepreneurs or we're in the, the corporate world, we get into a space where we think that we have to have this type of look. Mm-hmm. And something that I like to tell my clients, remember that type of look, that dress code was created by
men.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Specifically because for them, wearing a black and white suit, wearing a navy blue suit with a white shirt, they kind of mirrored what they thought, because a banker was like, it had that prestigious feel to it. And that's the way they wanted to show up. So what happened over the years is that dress code just kept going. And as women entered the workforce, that was given to us, right? Mm-hmm. We were told to wear this. And so as we progress, we just continue doing that. And you find like most women get into that space where, like any space, and they're dressing that way. And it's like, okay, where does my personality come in? Where does, how do I differentiate myself? Because at the end of the day, if we're all dressed in black and white, how are we standing out, right? Just making, yes, we want to say it's about performance and it's about, doing your work. Yes, that's important. Mm-hmm. It is important. You can't just look good and don't produce. And it's vice versa. You can't just produce and not have that image that can draw people in and have a conversation with. Mm-hmm. So in the professional field and in the entrepreneurial space, women, kind of like, what do? I don't want to dress in a black and white suit, but I want to express a little bit more of my personality. How can I do that? Right. Mm-hmm. As you said, for you, it was like, first of all, how do I show up as my authentic? Like, who am I? Mm-hmm. What are some of the things that I love? And finding a way to incorporate that and make that your brand. Because right now, what you have done, you have established a unique brand. Mm-hmm. You know what happens? Let's say if tomorrow you decided that you're going to go jet black, not wear anything bold. Everybody's going to be like, okay, what happened?
Like, oh my God, that's what happened. Okay, so after I did the bright color, earlier this year in January, I was like, okay, no, I want to go back black. So we did the dark hair and I had this navy color. Yeah. And when I got home, my husband looked at me and he was like, oh, yeah, it's nice. But he didn't have that same like spark and sparkle. It wasn't that the hair wasn't done well. It wasn't that it didn't look nice and professional, all of that. It's just like, he was like, yeah, so you're going to go back to the bright colors. And I was like, yes, like I'm all in now, right? Like I need it. It feels crazy to be just so dark now. And I'm like, yeah, I need that. I need it in my life.
Did you realize a difference between the way you interacted, not only with your husband or his, his reaction, but also how you felt about yourself?
Yes, immediately. Like, it was like when it was done, I was like, oh, this is pretty. But I did not have the same level of spark. But guess what? She told me, I told you needed to stay with the colors. She was like, but listen, you're the client. I did what you said you wanted me to do. And yes, it still looks good. And then you know what my next thing was? She was like, so wear it like this for a while. And then let me tell you what we could do. So it was that next level of her saying, I did what you said, but you realize now you're not that person. And I think that when we talk about our businesses, we have to realize that we continually change, and our style, our hair, our nails, our shoes, all of that is a part of what makes us special. And not having that, it was kind of like, what? Hello, somebody said something about Mr. Brown was like, where's my wife? He was like, where is she? And then when I came in, because I got my hair done yesterday, when I came in, he said, oh, like, it was like, it's back. And I'm just like, you need whatever that is for you. When I tell people, give it to the people, I don't know what your it is. So what's your it that makes you feel like powerful and magical and like you could take over the world?
Exactly.
That's how I look at it. And it may be something different. It's not hair for everybody, right? It may be something, like an accomplishment. It may be an outfit. It may be a certain color, but everybody needs that it in their life. And I think that with you, with the styling, there's something, because, I pay attention to everything that people put out. But one of the things that you talk about is overcoming, right? Like obstacles to style, like you stayed in this thing. So can you give us some tips on people that want to overcome, like they're stuck. They don't want to do that black and white anymore. They don't want to be plain vanilla. Now they want sprinkles and gummy bears and stuff. So what are some of the things that people can do?
So that's a good question, but here's my first, like the first question I ask my clients whenever we get on these consultation calls, because there's one thing to say, I want to do it, like, oh, I want to get out. I don't want to be in this boring, style and space anymore. I want to express more of myself. And then there's another thing to take action. Right? And that's where most of us get stuck. That's where most of us do like what you did and be like, oh, let me go back to what I was accustomed to, what I'm comfortable with. So the first question I like to ask my clients is like, how do you feel about risk? Most persons would say, oh yeah, I'm okay with risk. I'm okay with taking on risk and everything. Is like, okay, how are you about how are you with creating habits? Are you great at creating new habits? Because what happens, we have to be able to take a risk, and we have to be able to practice new habits. That is what, when you're talking about being stuck in a style rut and you want to get out, those are the first two things. Are you willing to take some risk? And are you willing to create new habits? And when I say take risk, I'm not talking about all of a sudden I'm going to put you in a pink dress and pink hair. No. Risk is you're accustomed to showing up wearing a black and white suit or things that don't make you happy or don't flatter your body type. And here's it now, you want to step into things that really and truly, supports who you are and you feel happy in. But you're not willing to take that extra step. So I would say to you, for your body type, I know that you're accustomed to wearing these really long pants, really big, it's not adding any shape, nothing to you. How about if we do this particular dress, which cinch your waist in a little bit, we add a belt maybe? How do you feel about belt? But then you're like, no, I don't want to, right? I don't know. So it's risk and creating new habits and being self-aware. You have to be self-aware. Understanding what whatever you were doing before and it's not working, that you need to change, that you need to create new habits again. Right? So it's a mindset thing for most of us, that we would say that we want to create new habits, we want to dress better, but we are afraid to take that step of, okay, let me step one foot forward. That can mean, okay, instead of wearing baggy clothing because you think that you don't have the perfect body, so you're just draping yourself in boxy clothes. And I'm saying to you, okay, instead of doing that, let's first identify your body type and then dress you accordingly, right? So that's the first step. Then we'll be like, okay, you know what? I want to wear more colors, but you're not comfortable going big and bold. We can do that in some accessories, right? So it takes time with every single thing that we do in life. We don't always, when we're in one space that we're comfortable doing one thing, and here's it, we're thinking about changing. It's not always an easy process, right? So I like to tell my clients, be mindful of that. Don't come into going to anything saying, oh yes, I want to do this, but first evaluate yourself, understand where you are at the moment in your style process, where you want to go. How does your style support your goals? How does your style help you to show up as yourself, right? Yeah. Because you want to be happy at the end of the day, feeling like whenever you're getting dressed, it's like, yes. It's like, yes. I mean, just to give an example, I worked in banking for 15 plus years, right? Okay. So I had this mindset of, and working with numbers where it's like, every cent needs to be in order. Everything needs to be aligned. And my dress code based on, banking influencing my personality a little bit. My dress code was the blazer. It was navy blue, but I kept it fresh in terms of, I would, maybe a navy blue blazer, but it has like gold buttons. So, I had some personality. It wasn't like your stuck, boring navy blue suit. It had some personality to it. But I had that particular look working, corporate. But once I made the transition into entrepreneurship, it was like, okay, I don't want to be that girl anymore. Okay.
And you have the freedom to do something different now too.
Yeah. I said, I don't, but you have the freedom as well to show up differently and as yourself, even if you have a dress code, right? There's just certain things that you have to do to tweak it. So for me, I identified, okay, what are my 3 words when people come in contact with me? What are some of the things that I want them to say? In banking, I wanted them to say that I was someone who's very professional, that when they look at me, it's like, okay, she's going to handle my money, really well. Like she's very aligned, very, those were the words because of the profession that I was in. But now that I've switched, it's like, okay, what do I want? People to say fun, creative, to still have that professional look because that is part of my personality. But, be bold in certain ways. So what did I do? Necklace, right?
Necklace.
These are my statement pieces. I'm still the same person, but I'm drawing from a different side of my personality now, right? I'm showing up in a different way because this is how I want to show up. This is what makes me happy. This is the feeling that I want to have. And then this is the message that I want to translate. So if I'm saying I want to be colorful, you're not going to see me wearing black and white.
Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. But that's the thing. So I always ask people, what are their 3 words as well? So I use for me confident, colorful, and quality. Those are the things that I want. And so, sometimes I can say that with using those words, when I think about that, I tell people if what you're putting out doesn't align with that, then you're putting out the wrong stuff because it doesn't make sense with the message. So when I am probably a little bit more critical of, oh, should I put this out? Okay, well, let me do this, or let me make sure that this happens in this time frame so that things can look a certain way. It may be a little bit not procrastination, but it may prevent me from let me just say it. It prevents me from just putting out anything. Okay. I just can't just throw out anything just to throw it out. Like, to me, I need to make sure that when I'm crafting something that it looks good and that it feels good. I want people to get a feeling from things. And so for me, it's always going to be something that's colorful in that translates to other people. And I think that you can change Even when you look at things like your profile, because, one of the things that I know we had kind of discussed a little bit, I don't even know what it was, but that I noticed that you changed up your branding colors. And I said something to you about it because yours were a lot calmer. And then you changed to really bold, vibrant colors. And when you did that, it was like, so that's why today I was like, okay, well, I was going to put on something plain, but then I said, no, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give them the little shoulders out and give them a little fuchsia, a little magenta color, right? Because I was like, because it matches what your brand has. And my thing is, your way of doing things is not just about your wardrobe, but it's also in the marketing and the social media of the brand. And I've seen the transition of your brand from you going a little bit bolder. So what made you change your branding? Because it's kind of still the same, but it's just so much more like, pay attention to this. And I really love that about it.
And I mean, I'm happy that that's what it translated to. And I know that we did have this conversation before. So the reason behind that, as I said, it went back to my 3 words. What type of energy I wanted to bring to the brand, not just in the way I presented myself, but the way I communicated that on my social media feed as well, right? So making that change to the pink and the purple and the neon said to me, I mean, they all mean different things. Purple, I wanted to have that energy of loyalty, of sophistication.
Regal. Yeah.
Whereas pink, it's feminine, and also with the neon, it was like, that was just my personal touch in that I love carnival, right? I love costumes.
Okay.
So that was me, a part of me being added to, I added it to my brand. But the reason I think more so is that I wanted women to understand that you don't have to show up looking like everyone else. Right? You don't have to show up everyone will do the pink and the maybe a purple or orange or something like that. Is that you can be more of what you want to be. And I know, branding experts will say, don't choose the colors that you love, but choose the colors that resonates with the brand or something like that.
Yeah, and attract the audience.
Attract the audience. But the messaging that I wanted to convey were in those 3 colors: loyalty, just having sophistication, just being feminine, because most women who are working in like male dominated industries, coming from banking, I mean, I expressed my femininity. I dressed, in a feminine way. I wore my pink and my floral dresses and whatever I wanted to wear to work. But there are women within those spaces, in the tech spaces, who don't feel as though that they can be as feminine in that space. So the pink is to remind women that, even if you're in that space, you can be feminine. Yes, your work environment may not call for you walking in there with a pink dress, but you may like pink. So it's finding ways to incorporate that color into your wardrobe and showing up as yourself, and just having a space of knowing that you don't have to confine yourself to the norm. One thing I've always been like, I've never liked being like everyone else. I was actually one of those persons who cut my tag out of my clothing because I hated people going and do like, oh, what brand is that? Because I'm like, no, I don't want to look like you. Stop popping my collar to see what brand it is, because I don't want to look like you, right?
Please do not forget what I have. Yes.
Yeah, I was one of those persons. But so, just working with my clients to ensure that show up as yourself. Identify the things that really works for you, because it's personal styling starts from inside, right? And whether or not you're an entrepreneur or a professional working in a corporate space, it starts with you understanding who you are and finding your way through, those spaces and the dress codes, and being able to express yourself, not going crazy and inappropriate, but you're staying in line with those dress codes, and as well as showing up as yourself. So it was like, when I thought of the colors for my brand, I was like, okay, what is the message? What is the message that I want to convey? and what is the message that I want my audience to receive. So even when you said it, I was like, yes, that's exactly what I want.
It caught me. I was like, oh, okay, she changed up. Like, and it was just like, oh, this is pretty. Like it caught my eye. And now, I have to transition because you can't say Carnival and then me not ask this question, because people are going to want to know what country you're from. And I just wanted to know, because I always kind of ask people things like, what were the influences? Like, what was the foundation for this? And I would assume that your heritage has a lot to do with, what you do and why you do it and how you do it. So please tell the people what country, and then give us some of that influence that may have come from there.
Oh, absolutely. So first of all, I was born and raised in the Republic of Ghana. That's the only English speaking country in South America. Obviously, as a teenager, migrated to Antigua, and that's where I grew up. That's where I spent, grew into adulthood and everything like that. And that's where I fell in love with Carnival, right? Because we have what we call the greatest summer festival every year. Unfortunately, because of COVID, it didn't happen last year. And you get into the streets and you just have a grand time. It's mostly in celebration of Emancipation Day, and just having different troops and the mass players, and we all go out and just have a really, really good time wearing a full costume. And I'm one of those persons, full costume. So you see what you're wearing on your head. That would be like my costumes and stuff. I've never put my costumes on, like my pictures of my costumes.
Because I was going to say, I've never seen your Carnival costume, and I would love to see it.
Those are for private one-on-one client conversation, because we're
just give us a headdress, though.
We're talking, maybe I'll do like a headshot one day, because we're talking about full costume, and I wear full costume. I'm not one of those persons who cover everything up and no. So I'm still appropriately dressed. Nothing is flipping or going anywhere, but I wear my full costume. So if you know what Carnival is and have seen a costume before, yes.
I've never been. And that's one of the things that I definitely would love to do, is to go to somebody's carnival one of these years, once the world gets back open. And, I see people and I'm just like, oh, okay, we just have everything out. Like, oh, okay. But I think it's such a great celebration of like everybody's size, everybody's body. Like, it's just one of those things where, just if you felt like you wanted to put it out. Go to Carnival and just do it, because nobody is judging you.
It is that level. Yep.
It's like, to me, I think that when you look at certain cultures and, people like to lump Black into one group, and it's not. You know what I'm saying? Or, you're from the island, and it's not the same thing. Everybody has their own take on, how they do things and what's important and what's special to them. And so just knowing that, it helps you to say, well, look, this has got to be one of the most body positive things that has been going on forever, that we just need to recognize that.
Yeah, I think it's looking at it and you're like, women, again, different shapes, sizes, color, everything, just in the streets, and we're having fun, right? Just enjoying the moment. Just like, but I'm one of those mass players that I'm very conservative as to how I conduct myself on the road, because I've always said I'm always of the opinion that whatever you do today should impact you tomorrow negatively, and so I'm always one that conduct myself properly. But it's just like a space and a time to be able to express yourself. And I wanted part of that, since I'm not living in Antigua anymore, is to have part of that reflected in my brand, right? To have that brand personality coming through by some of the things that I love. So I can have these type of conversations, right? This is where the personal touch come in. Because we can see people on social media and connect with people, but we want to know who they are, right? Beyond, this is my product and this is my service. We want to know, what are some of the things that you love and what are some of the things that makes you who you are. So it was great being able to express that. If you look I've gotten like so many compliments on LinkedIn for my profile picture. People like, I connected with you just because of your profile, that pink shirt that you're wearing. I was like, yes, right? You don't need to be the black Stucky and everybody's like this.
Because it's just, you get so much of the same. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing we were talking about, music and how, it's not as much differentiation now. And we wish that it was. And you have to go other places to find other things. So it's not that it's not there. It's just that in mass quantities, things sound the same. Now, there was a show, I can't remember the name of it. I'm trying to remember it, but I can't. And it was kind of like a future-based show. And what happened was the lady was a scientist. Oh, I know it was called The One. So if anybody watches it, look up The One. So she goes from just being you could clearly tell she didn't care about what she wore. She was just, t-shirt, jeans, wrinkled, not wrinkled, hair disheveled. She didn't care about anything, nothing. She didn't care about her appearance because she was a scientist and she was so focused on just doing the science. But when she decided that, or she got to the point where she was getting ready to be a CEO of a company and she knew she needed to make this change. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, I know you specifically will love the fashion. Every outfit that she had on, I was like, I need that. Like, you could tell the fabric was expensive. Like, it was just like, and it was like, you know what? If I were that type of person, and I mean, it wasn't suits, but it was business. Yes. But then you could see style and everything. And then when they showed her house, you could see the style in the house and you could see how everything just wrapped together with the lifestyle that she created. And I'm just like, I think that a lot of times in business, or not saying we, because me and you get it, but people, okay, don't understand how important the look is to make yourself attractive for people to want to spend money with you. And I just saw this graphic. I wish I could show you right now, right? And I was looking, and I whenever I have things that are questionable, I show my husband. So I show him the graphic, and I was like, now, should I buy from them? He was like, what is this? I mean, I said, if I see one more person posting selling clothes that are wrinkled, I cannot, I don't understand.
Exactly. We buy. Exactly. We buy. And that's where people, I mean, we're using the word people, right? Because we don't want to be like, but that's where we lose the ability to connect with serious business or CEOs or persons hiring, because we miss those details. We miss that, because everyone is in virtual, so you can just show up any old how on, those events. It's like people are paying attention to you, right?
They are.
We're in a space right now where, and every time I hear the numbers as to how long it takes to make a first impression, it just blows my mind that we're not even stopping more than 5 or 7 seconds to pay attention long enough.
Yeah,
exactly. Long enough to a person, as much as we may say, oh no, we shouldn't be judging how we look. And it's like, listen to me, in this virtual space, especially, I don't know who you are. I have no idea who you are. Yes, you're a business coach. Yes, you're an influencer. Yes, you're this. That's what your title says. Right? But when I'm scrolling like that through those squares, there must be something, that makes me stop. Something, because what you want to do is to, whatever you post is to influence people, right? I was looking for, when you were saying that, I was looking for the quote. I think I thought I posted where I said that influence equal impact and impact equals income, something like that. I don't know. I tried kind of, because that's what it is. I'm trying to shop. You don't have the decency, lack of, not to be harsh, to even present your product in a way that makes me want it, because I want to see how it looks. If there's a wrinkle in it, I'm going to be like, okay, is that how it's going to come to me? Is it a case where, it's difficult to iron? What is it? Then you go through that process. It's like, okay, next.
You do. And people have to realize now that it's so visual. So I do want to transition, because one of the things that you mentioned was being in this virtual environment. And we have to be honest with ourselves and say, we'll probably be in this virtual environment I mean, people want to put a number on it, right? They want to say, okay, another year.
We're trying to be hopeful and optimistic.
Stop it. Let me tell you why I stop it. This is the way of life now.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Anybody that's not paying attention, I don't know why. Go back to childhood, okay? And go back to watching the Jetsons. And you thought that was going to be impossible. And we're the Jetsons now. We're literally, going through and talking to each other on computers and not even having to use certain things and being on screens. That's what the Jetsons were. We thought that was so far-fetched and it was so far in the future. Yep. And we're talking about 20, 30 years. So if you're talking about a cartoon that was that far back, that predicted the future that we're in, that was the future then. This is the future now. And all it's going to do is it's going to get better, because now you will have ways to be able to reach more people. You would never be able to reach this amount of people that you can the way that you are now. Exactly. So all it's going to do is improve. So what would be some recommendations style-wise for a person that is really only trying to dress from the waist up? Because if that's all we really get to see on now, I mean, you can put, like, I'm gonna be honest, I have on sweatpants underneath here, okay? It's sweatpants on. I do have on a dress because I feel like when I want to, do these things, I get dressed up top, but I have on sweatpants on the bottom. And it's kind of like nobody's going to see the bottom, right? Like, who's going to know? Who's going to see the bottom? Nobody's going to know, right? But you see the top. So what are some pieces of advice that you can tell a person to stand out, show their personality, and from the waist up?
Yes. So first of all, I'm not a big fan of halfway tabletop dressing. It's like, listen to me, get dressed completely. And even if your bottoms should have some form of zipper and button on it, like it should have something like. And I think what happens, before I get to the recommendation, that we forget that clothes come in a variety of choices. So when I say dress completely on the bottom and wear a full bottom, that does not mean if you're in a corporate world, you should go wearing your corporate pants. Right? What happens, I always like to put it this way. If opportunity comes knocking on your door that second, would you feel comfortable opening the door?
Right? I like that.
Do you feel comfortable opening the door? Or do you have to go, okay, no, I need appropriate pants, I need this, I need that. Like, no, right? So dress completely, not only for that reason, but for productivity's sake as well, right? Because when you get fully dressed in the mornings, you're telling yourself, I am going to work. I am going to be productive. When you look at your to-do list and you see all the things that you need to accomplish or you want to accomplish that day, you've set yourself up to win. Now, when you're going to go a halfway professional, like halfway, yes, I'm business, and halfway I'm like casual, you know what's going to happen? You're going to do what you're going to do. I'm going to work a little bit, then I'm going to go to the fridge. I'm going to turn on the television. I'm going to go check the mailbox. I'm going to do all these different things.
I need you to stop talking about me. I need you to stop talking about me because you are so right. That's exactly what I did today. Like, you, I don't even want to talk to you. Like, you are so right about that. And I'm just like, oh, she's talking about me. But no, when it's time to get dressed, I have on a full dress. But when I'm working, I had to make sure I put on what I felt like was a work thing every day, because I found like it would be days, with COVID where I just would be like, okay, I'm just going to put on a t-shirt and there would be no bottoms on, you know what I'm saying? Like, or shorts on or something. And so then I said, no, I have to get fully dressed. So I completely understand exactly what you're saying, because it gives you a different feeling. It does. You're talking about me. You're talking about me.
And also what we're noticing right now, because most people got into the frenzy of, oh my gosh, we're working from home, let me dress this way. Now that we're going out, now that we're thinking about, okay, it's going to be a 50-50 split, probably, where we work from home, we work from the office. It's like, okay, what do I wear to the office now? Oh, so now you go through a different shift where you're using and getting exhausted and fatigued by trying to make a decision as to what to wear, because you allowed yourself to be in that space of just being casual and just don't care. You've already been struggling for some persons as to what to wear. Then you got into the sweatpants habit. Now we're going back to work or we're going out socializing. It's like, okay, what do I do now? Right? So that's my first piece of advice. Get up and get dressed. Wear clothes and don't like sometimes I get dressed and I'm like, I look at myself and I'm just like, what do you think you're doing? Like, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I look good. I feel good. I'm going to I'm going to take some pictures. I'm going to sit at my desk and I'm do some work. Right?
It does encourage me to take pictures. It encourages me to do videos. So I can say when I get fully dressed and do a face and all of the rest of that, I'm like, we got to create content. You know, I'm not just going to let this whole everything go for no reason. So that is a motivator. I would definitely.
Exactly. And you may motivate yourself to do more client calls. It's like, okay, I need to set up more client calls today because I'm going to have a full face. I'm going to do this, right? So you're growing your business and you're growing your network. You're growing, even if you're looking for a job, it means that, okay, I'm getting on more networking calls, trying to promote myself because you are looking and feeling great about yourself. So that's my first thing.
Yes.
Second thing, when it comes to presenting yourself on Zoom, please look at what you're wearing and ensure that you're not blending into your background. Right? That's the first thing. I've showed up, I've been on so many networking calls on Zoom, and you have like 100 women or 50 women, and we're all this little square, and you're like, who's that person? What is she? And you're trying to figure out who that person is and what they're doing. You would have lost the ability to connect with someone there because no one is seeing you. You're like a dark hole in that space, right? Not to be, I'm not being mean or anything, but
no,
I'm just
but I know what you mean. Yeah.
I'm just saying like what I notice and what I see, and I'm like, and if the purpose of the call is to network, is to create, because you're building connections, you're building relationships, but no one can connect with you because they can't see you. So pay attention to what you're wearing in your background. Now, looking at this is my background and I'm wearing gray. What did I do? It was necessary for me to add this
to pop the color.
Because what happens now, I'm standing out. I'm in the front. I'm in, I'm in the frame and you can see me now. So think about the colors that you look good in, because that's the first thing. You have to choose those colors that you look good in. Don't just wear a pink shirt because someone like me tells you, oh, pink looks great on camera, but it doesn't look great on you. Right? So you have to identify the colors that really works for you and really make you pop. We have blues, and I think one of the suggestions that I would give, look at your favorite reporter, look at the news, see what are some of those colors that they're wearing. Now, we don't have, with the ring light, it's not the same as the studio lights. It's not the same setup. But you can still take those kind of cues from them in terms of what colors to wear. I like to wear something, some pop of color. Like even if I'm wearing a shirt, pop of color. If something needs to pop, because what happens, that's how people connect with you. I was on a networking call the other day. It was 250 women. I was like, wow. Someone messaged me on LinkedIn and said, oh, I wanted to connect with you because you're here and what you were wearing just stood out.
There you go. I mean, that's clear evidence that what you say works. Now, what do you say about mixing colors and patterns? Because a lot of people get really scared, and like sometimes I'll buy stuff and I'll just be like, okay, so what do you think about this? And my husband's like, I don't know. Like, let me see it together. Like, let me see the full whatever. And it's like you can't see the vision. But for me, I have an extensive, ridiculous wardrobe. So it may be stuff that I bought from 3-4 years ago that I know is going to pop with this new thing that I bought. And they may not be the same pattern, but I can make it work together, or I may have a solid that works with the thing. So what about people that want to get more explorative in the area of colors and patterns? What would you say is kind of like on trend right now for people?
Oh, colors, and when it comes to especially patterns, mixed prints specifically, it's about confidence. It's about confidence. If you don't feel confident putting two different prints together, you will look exactly the way you feel.
Oh,
I can tell you, no, I'm telling you, like from my personal experience, like I've tried to mix similar, like, okay, stripe. Maybe I have a black and white stripe pants, and I try to mix the, with a black and white, because you kind of like what you do sometimes is keep the color similar, and you can mix it. But I don't feel confident wearing mixed prints. I don't. Okay. I don't. So I can see it on someone and be like, oh my gosh, that is so cute. I put it on and I don't feel confident.
Okay.
Prints and patterns for me, I have to be careful as well as to what I choose because of my body type. I'm very petite, not only in like size, but in length, because I'm like 5 feet. I'm not going to tell you what my waist and how much I weigh, but I'm extremely petite. So when I wear a full-on floral dress, if it's not plunging in the neckline or plunging in the back, I look 12.
Oh.
So for me to break that up, and if you're someone that experienced that, for me to break that up, what I'll do is floral on the bottom, solid on the top.
Okay.
So I can still have fun with prints and patterns, but I don't feel as though I'm uncomfortable or I've just made myself look really young that I want to, right?
Yeah.
So that would be my first suggestion. If you're going into prints for the first time and patterns, you're exploring that field, don't go full out, right? Because there's nothing more uncomfortable than looking at yourself in something that you're not accustomed to.
It does give you a like, whoa, I love a print. I promise you, a print is one of my favorite.
You look amazing in it. Ooh. But do you know I am confident one of the key of the reason for that is that you are so confident.
Yeah.
Right? It's like look at this. But
I look for prints. Like that's the thing. So when I'm trying to do my photo shoots, if I'm gonna wear I always want something that is going to completely be like, whoa, print. And then I get something, and I am big on solids though, but I want the colors to still pop. So I make sure that, okay, if I'm gonna do this solid, then it may be something else that pops with it, whether it's the jewelry or the hair or the shoe or something like that. But I am really intentional, and I see my photographers on here. Hey, girl, she just jumped on.
Yeah, she said I am intentional
about saying, okay, what do I want this to look like, and how do I want it to feel, and what are these pictures going to be used for? So, like, I have some pictures that are not even out right now, but if we're in this spring mode, it's like you'll see I'll do a pattern, and then the next thing I'm probably going to do solids because I want to be able to jump back in between there. But I just think that for me, this is just my personal take. If you're doing more of the television thing, I try to tell people to do solids.
No, you have
to do television. Patterns sometimes can be a little bit much. Yeah, but if you're always doing these things, I love a plain background like I have in the back, and then you can do something more fancy and colorful and patterned up in the front, to mix it up.
When you and again, where I suggest that you look at your television reporters, they're never wearing print, because prints and patterns does this. You're like this, right? It dazzles your eyes. But you can get away with it as an entrepreneur, creative person if you're in that creative field based on how you style it, right? So I would not show up here with big flowers on my top, because for me, that's what you're going to be focusing on. I'm just trying to find something that's closer. So, I mean, what are you seeing first? This or me?
I'm seeing that. It's pulling in my eye. Yeah.
You're seeing this first, right? And this is not what you whatever you're wearing when you appear on camera, you don't want that particular thing to dominate who you are. You don't want that outfit to draw attention away from you. Right? Because people are going to be focusing on this. Like, what is that? What is? So this is where you have to be mindful about what you wear. Solids, I always say opt for solids. It's in this case where we're being safe, so to speak, but we're not going to opt for your solid black, right? You can be safe and creative at the same time.
You can,
The colors, going for the solid appears better on camera, people focus, they focus on you instead of what you're wearing. Yes, you want people to notice you, but you don't want your outfit to take away from your message. So that's like really important that, we do that. But I think with everything that we're saying and we're giving, and I'm giving these suggestions and these ideas, the first thing that you have to do, Joe, because I don't want anyone going, oh, Solita said to, if I want to try patterns, let me just try it on the bottom and the top, and you go wear it and it's like, oh, I don't like it. I don't like how I look at it. That's because you haven't identified what your personal style is, right?
Yeah.
Everything is not made for everyone, and everyone would not like everything.
Okay. You just had to bring the rocker back out. Yes, come on,
but you have to define what your personal style is, and that personal style comes down to, again, being self-aware. Who are you as a person? What are some of the things that you enjoy? What are some of the things that you want to express in your wardrobe? What's your industry that you're working in? What's your dress code? What's your lifestyle? So you have to draw from all of that and then create your personal style, then create your look, then put the pieces into your closet. Because once you add those pieces to your closet, you should wear them every single occasion that you can wear them. You're not buying things like, oh yeah, I was told to get a floral dress because that may look, it's spring, so I need floral for spring, and you go get a floral dress and you don't wear floral and you hate floral.
And I used to hate florals. I'm kind of liking them a little bit better now, but
that's because you're expanding expanding your taste. You're expanding.
But it's certain types of florals that I'm still like, that's not for me. I'm not that kind of girl. But I want to transition. So since you said closet, one of the services that you provide for people is that closet cleanse, so that this way they can get it together. And I need you to tell people about the closet cleanse. And if they need to get one, you can also do things virtually to help them as well. So please tell them about that and how you can help people.
Yeah, it's spring, right? It's when we do the spring cleaning. It's when especially if you haven't done, well, I'm sure most of us or most of the audience listening haven't done anything with their closet over the last year and a half, thereabout, wherever we are. We haven't done anything. We haven't organized it. We haven't checked anything. We've gained some weight, the pandemic pounds, as we put it. So there are a lot of things in your closet that are not fitting you, that you may have outgrown because you're not in that space anymore. You probably worked for someone, but you're now doing your own business. So that's where I come in. To just go through your closet with you, get rid of those pieces that no longer fits, because we're not holding on to anything going, okay, I may lose the weight next week, right? Chances are you probably weren't wearing it before when you were that size. So we're getting rid of anything and everything that doesn't support you. We're looking at your lifestyle. What are some of the things that you need in your closet right now? Do you have those things? What are some of the things that's in your closet that don't support where you are right now? If you're not working corporate anymore, you have no intention of working corporate anymore, and you're holding on to corporate boring outfits, get rid of them, right? So we go through that process of getting rid of everything. And then if you're interested in getting, okay, we're cleaning the closet, I need help putting together outfits. Because most persons go through that struggle. When we clean it up, then what do we do? I'm still stuck in that space of, I don't know,
but what do I do? Yeah.
I don't know what to do, right? So I do offer a Shop Your Closet segment with my clients. That's an hour. We go through from sharing with you how to go about creating outfits, using a specific amount of pieces to create multiple. Right? Showing you the formula that I use to, if I have one dress or one top, how I can create several outfits with that one top based on the things that I have in my closet. So this isn't about you buying anything new. It's about you using the things in your closet. And to schedule that, link is in my bio. To do that, it just it says Shop Your Closet segment, and that's where you secure your spot in that. So it's a great way to purge your closet of, just getting to that space where you're like starting afresh, knowing what you have and creating the outfits that you need to really show up, not only in the Zoom space, but as we started to venture out as well. So I hope to see, a few.
No, that's a great service, because I run into people all the time. And I mean, I guess I always say this, it's kind of like the thing that Frank Lucas said, his mother said, like, if you wanted to be good at something, you could be good at that thing. I probably could be a stylist if I wanted to, but I find myself always saying, I would maybe wear that a little different, or I would get that, but I don't want to share it with you. Being honest, like when you said that and you were talking about I was like, listen, that's why back in the day I used to sew and make my own stuff because I hated. I went to a New Year's party one year and a girl had on the same dress, and I was disgusted. It was I was disgusted, and I said never again. And this is the thing, I don't think that I am so special that only I could have this particular item, right? But I do think that when you look at how people, it's body shape, it's how they wear it, it's the confidence, it's the accessories, it's whatever. And it's kind of like when they kind of do a who wore it better, sometimes somebody did wear it better, but I mean, I just don't like it. So I always want to be as individualistic as possible with whatever I'm doing. And I think that it does make a difference. And for me, that's why a lot of times I start from the hair, because if I change my hair, then it gives me a different feeling for a different type of outfit. Like it's certain outfits that I know people would just put on whatever, but I'm not going to wear with this hair because I feel like a different hairstyle or a different color would go better with it. And so, I really try to be conscious of that. But shopping your closet, from what you just said, means I just need to pay you to do that part, but I don't need to spend any additional money because I already have some great things that are in here.
Exactly.
And I need to reevaluate how I use them and how I pair them up is what you're telling me.
Exactly. I've had like clients where they're like, okay, I've had a recent client consultation. We're going through the shop your closet. We did one of the programs that I have, which is the 7 days to style confidence, right? On the last day, which we did the shop your closet segment, putting together outfits, I told her the day before what pieces, I needed to bring 8 pieces, specifically, not the colors. I just told her 2 outerwear, 1 dress, She brought me all black, all dark colors. And this was what she was wearing before. So she just felt comfortable bringing those pieces. So I said to her, let's go have a look in your closet because I know you don't have just an all black closet. Let's go look in your closet. You would have been surprised as to the colors that she had. She's like, oh, but I have colors, but I'm never confident wearing them. I was like, this is what we're doing this session for, right?
That's why.
We're going through to put together outfits based on the things that you don't wear.
Yeah.
And she was amazed that, okay, this color goes with that and we can put that with that. She literally had a fashion show after we were done. I have all the photos. I'm like, what did you do? She's like, yeah, it was so much fun. No, creating looks outside of what I was accustomed to. She already had the pieces in her closet, but her mindset was just like, oh, these are the 10 pieces that I wear often. So I'm like, I can't create anything with you for black and white. Black and white is black and white. It's going to be a disservice. It's going to be a disservice for me to tell you, okay, put that black shirt with that white pants. And then put that black blazer with that white pants. It's like, where are we going, right? Where are we going? So it's the shop your closet. It's about empowering you and showing you new ways to use the things that you already have that you're not wearing. And that's most of the case what it is. Women are not wearing the things that they have. And this is where, I'm helping you to just go through that process of wearing the things that you have. It's already there. You're wasting money if you're just storing it and not using it, right? And then you say you broke? No, you can't say you broke when you have money hanging in your closet. It's just crazy.
She hurt somebody's feelings with that.
No, because when you wear it,
but
think
it's
about
so
it.
real.
If you are broke and you're trying to make money, you're trying to get a job, you're trying to get clients, but you're wearing a wardrobe that is not commanding respect. It's not showing that you are
not helping you get the money.
Exactly. It's not connecting you to the right people. Then you are wasting money on not being able to make money. So what are we doing? Are we trying to make money?
Yes. Always.
That's what we want to do. So we have to show up as our best selves.
That's it. I love that. So tell people where they can find you online, and if they, want to connect, or if you have anything coming up, give them that information for me.
Yeah. So as I said, thank you very much for having me. I mean, this was a fantastic conversation. I really enjoyed it, and just having to be able to express a part of my personality that many don't see often. Because when I get on these calls, sometimes I get into that space where it's like, but having a personality like this brings out the best in you, right? And that is where I think when we look at our style and how we want to show up, being able to bring that type of ourselves out is important. So for those persons who are looking to connect with me, they can do so obviously on Instagram. You can DM me if you have a question, not sure as to what direction you should go in, what your struggles are. Definitely message me there. We can set up a virtual call. You can also follow me on LinkedIn. I'm over there as well. It's amazing just being in that professional space. Style by, why am I calling my own name? It's so crazy. Yeah. It's so crazy. I am now Style to Impact. That's what I'm about. Style to Impact. So you can find me as well on the website, which is www.styletooimpact.com. See my services there. The one that I have going right now is the Shop Your Closet segment. So that's definitely something that I encourage people to, your audience to sign up for. Link is in the bio.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. And then I have her link up here. And you can definitely go back. I'm going to post, the video once this is done. But she has one post on there and I was just like, I have done this, but I need to bring it back again because I haven't done it in a while. So you have one, and I want everybody to go check this out, that says restyle your quarantine sweatpants. And when I saw that, when I was like, yeah, I've done that so many times. And I'm just like, but I feel like I might need to go ahead and do like a restyle of some, because I got sweatpants galore. And I think, people don't realize how they can make something so simple be stylish. And on your page, you give so many different tips. You also talk to other people and interview people as well. So you can find a wealth of knowledge about fashion and style right there on her page. And check out Miss Solita Roberts. Yes. All right, so we are right at our time frame to end because I try to stay on time. Yeah, we've done an hour, girl. We did that. You gave all the goods, okay?
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah. Awesome.
I want to thank you for being on and just sharing all of your knowledge. And hopefully, some people will be able to reach out, contact you. And, just everybody just keep giving it to the people. So we have another guest next week. Join us back next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to give it to the people. So make sure that you always show up and show out and continue to give it to the people. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Give It to the People Radio. Make sure that you follow us online at ladybusiness.com, LadyBizness. We look forward to helping you grow, sustain, and maintain your business.